Welcome to Cardboard Chemistry, where we talk about everything and anything related to Magic the Gathering. I'm the beaker in your speaker, a test tube dude, the goat in a lab coat, just a slippery boggle in goggles. I'm your host, MTG Labman, and without further ado, let's get into our topic for today. Alright everyone, today's topic is the release schedule for upcoming 2026 with the 7 Magic sets and how to manage product fatigue. Avatar spoilers, preview season has started earlier this week, and I figured it'd be a good time to talk about next year and the upcoming 4 Universes Beyond sets, 3 core in-universe Magic sets, and just talk about how we can, as a community, can kind of figure out where we sit, how to deal with the fire hose of new cards that are coming out with us. Right? Typically a set has anywhere from 200 to 300 cards, unless it's one of the Aftermath sets. And so we're looking at 1,400 to over 2,000 new cards next year. So with that being said, I'll run over the calendar for next year. Starting in January 23rd is Lorwyn Eclipsed. Going back to Lorwyn, the set that I had originally started with, in-universe set will be pretty well received. I think there's a lot of hype around Lorwyn. Following Lorwyn is on the initial release calendar. They said in upcoming Universes Beyond set, we have now confirmation that will be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle set. Then following the TMNT set, in April of 2026, this will be Secrets of Strixhaven. With Secrets of Strixhaven, we're returning back to Archaeavos, and I'm actually kind of excited to see how the colleges and everything are dealing with after the Phyrexian invasion. So, with that being released in 2026, more than likely, MagicCon Vegas will be Strixhaven themed. Since Vegas is in early May, the beginning of May, I have a feeling that Strixhaven will be a very popular and well represented during the convention. Following Strixhaven, we have Marvel Superheroes in June of 2026. It's supposed to be a wider range of Marvel. I know Spider-Man hasn't been super well received, and I'll get to that later in the podcast. Following Marvel Superheroes, we have The Hobbit in August of 2026. Looking forward to a return to Middle Earth. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, huge Hobbit fan, so we will see how well they do it. Maybe a reprinting of the One Ring. Who knows for there. With that being said, more than likely, since MagicCon Amsterdam is occurring in July, I could see it having a focus on Marvel superheroes, with maybe a hint leading towards the Hobbit set. After the Hobbit, we have Reality Fracture. That's gonna wrap up the the current storyline through the Omen Paths. Um, so hopefully we get some closure on that. Should be a pretty cool in universes set. And then finally, for November 2026, we have Star Trek. We don't have official release date for Star Trek. I could see MagicCon Atlanta next year being Star Trek heavy themed, um, which I mean, as a sci-fi nerd, I would be totally on board with. Not sure if I'll be attending that convention or not, but that being said, 7 sets next year. Uh, you know, Wizards in their article states that this is, you know, they couldn't wait for to bring us some cool stuff, and they in 2027 they'll return to the 6 Magic sets. We'll see how that goes after this year. I'll be optimistic and say that they'll go back to 6 sets. Realistically, if you've read any of the articles on EDH Rec about Hasbro and saw the numbers, Magic is a large contributor. Magic and Wizards is a large contributor to the overall profit of Hasbro. So there could be, seeing, good numbers from 7 sets in this upcoming year, that they may push to continue that. I really hope not. Like I said, I'm just a part-time. This is kind of just a hobby outlet for me, and hearing full-time content creators saying that it's a lot to keep up with. For me, it's even more so, and 7 sets is a lot, and even this year with the release of Avatar and Spider-Man, we were getting previews for those sets way before Edge of Eternities was even starting to be spoiled. So Edge of Eternities was coming out, was the next set coming out, but we got spoilers for Avatar, which is 2 sets after Edge of Eternities. And like I said, it's a lot of kind of getting force-fed through a fire hose. New cards coming into the set, a lot to keep up with. I used to, growing up, starting in Magic, I used to just be able to look at cards and I would know, hey, here's the sets coming out this year. It was 3 or 4 sets, and I'd almost be able to memorize every card that was coming out in that set, knowing what it would do, what it couldn't do, and realistically, it's not possible anymore. It's too much to keep up with, but I want to talk about managing, dealing with all of this, and kind of spin a positive light on it. We don't all, this sounds like it's going to be a lot of negative against this, but how can you manage product fatigue, burnout? A lot of people say Magic isn't the game that it was when I started playing. I agree, Magic isn't the same game that it was when I started playing, but it's constantly evolving. And there is the whole fear, and I hold the fear as well, that 5-6 years from now, with the rate Magic's going, is it going to be a game that I enjoy? I hope it is. I hope, as almost a 20-year Magic player, that the game continues to grow and continues to support the older player base. long time players, and and keeps us something to come back to and sit down at a table with one another and reminisce about. Hey, I remember this card from '95. So, how can you manage product fatigue? And honestly, everybody has their own thing. I look at spoilers. I'm a very big single card buyer. I don't buy a lot of um, booster packs and those kind of things. Because that personal preference, I'm not a real lucky person, and so cracking packs. If I spend $20, $30, $40 on booster packs, and I'm trying to crack packs to get a card I want, I 98% of the time that never happens. So I usually just uh, result to buying singles. So I mean, for me, the last precon I bought was the Aether Drift zombie precon, um, and so yeah, it's been almost a year since I bought a pre-constructed deck. But managing fatigue, I mean, realistically, every set isn't gonna be everyone's cup of tea. I personally like to look through a set and just say, hey, I have my 14 commander decks. What out of this set could be used in one of those decks? Is there anything that has slightly power crept an existing card in my deck that I can use to improve my deck? So over the last year, a lot of my deck building, a lot of my Magic purchases have been small incremental improvements to decks. So with that, I mean, if you're overwhelmed, just look at look at your current decks. Go to EDH Rec, look at the um, new cards that search your commander, look at the new cards and see, hey, well, actually that would work. You might find a little hidden treasure somewhere along the way that you might have overlooked because you weren't interested in the set. Um, you know, I've for years have gone back and looked and been like, oh, that's a really good card. What set did it come out in? Oh, it came out in Duskmourn. Oh, well, I kind of overlooked Duskmourn, and so it's that's one way to manage it. Um, you know, Speaking of Spider-Man, Spider-Man wasn't well received. I wasn't super thrilled about it. Like I said, there are some cards that in there, Soulstone with great power, um, the Iron Spider, um, legendary version of Still Overseer. Um, those are just a couple of the cards that interested me in the set, but overall wasn't super fond of the set. Went to MagicCon in Atlanta. Was kind of bummed that most of the theme for MagicCon Atlanta was Spider-Man, but and Edge of Eternities got pushed to a little back corner. But I had a great time at MagicCon, and but kind of left MagicCon with, oh, I kind of wish it was more Edge of Eternities themed. Went back to my LGS, sat down with a pair of guys, the two brothers, uh, the weekend after I got back from MagicCon, and they're like, "Hey, you guys mind if we play our Spider-Man decks?" I'm like, you know what? Like, go ahead, guys. Like, not my cup of tea, but go ahead. And one brother played the Green Goblin. The other one played their um, 5-color Spider-Man deck, Cosmic Spider-Man, and just seeing the joy that they had from seeing how their decks functioned and how they interacted, you know, really, really recentered me. It reminded me why I play the game. The game is social aspect. Um, Sitting down, spending time with people you enjoy spending time with, um, having fun playing the game, chit chatting between turns. That is why I play Magic. Yes, I love the strategy. Yes, I love the components. I love doing crazy little intricate combos or making a crazy board state, but ultimately it comes down to the social aspect. Commander is a social game. It is a casual social format, um, and you know that little time at the LGS or even over a spell table game um, is the whole reason we play the game. It's to have fun doing something we enjoy and socializing with people. Um, so I can't knock a set. I was down on it, but I can't knock a set for if it brings somebody else joy or brings somebody else into the game. There's a lot of people that joined during Final Fantasy that now don't have now have in universe commanders, and so I see what they're doing. I wish it was a better balance between universes beyond and in universe sets next year. Hopefully, come 2027, we go back to 3 and 3. Ideally, I kind of wish it was like 3 in universe sets, maybe a universe beyond set, maybe the other 2 universes beyond sets would be like a commander product or something, so we're not getting completely flooded with cards. But to each their own. Wizards and Hasbro have to do what they have to do. So if it's full sets from here on out, it's full sets from here on out. I just want to see the game continue in a healthy way. Secret lairs are one thing, universes beyond, cards are another, and I can't speak for the standard players. Um, I know it's frustrating. 7 sets, rotating format. That's it's a lot to keep up with, especially with uh, you know 7 sets next year. You're gonna have barely any time to see what deck's good before new cards rotate in and change things, and old cards rotate out. So I feel for you guys. I I hope I hope it doesn't detract or push a lot of you guys out of the format. We still need standard players. Um, you know, so you know if you're at a point where it's a lot, it's too much, you feel overwhelmed with it, it's okay to take a step back. I say I'm a Magic player for 20 years. There was a good 3 year period where I didn't play. I mean, I kept up, looked at cards, but I didn't build a deck. I didn't play Magic. I talked about it, but and thought about it, but I couldn't. I wasn't in a position that allowed me to get to an LGS or even set up a spell table game. It was before spell table was even out, so it's okay to take a break if you need it, right? And then if you do take a break and you come back in a couple months, even if you take a break for a year, there's a whole new sloth of cards that are there waiting for you to discover. Um, so small advice: just try to keep a positive attitude. right now. I know it's real easy to go negative on a lot of things, but look at the bright side. Something could be released that's super crazy, that is the perfect fit for one of your decks, or a perfect fit for a concept that you've been working on or thinking about. Um, Honestly, with Avatar coming out, a lot of fun land cards for those that like to reanimate or animate lands. Um, Shrines. Go Shintai is one of my favorite commanders. Shrine commander, and seeing the new shrines being released in Avatar is already putting a smile on my face. The extra icing on the cake, since I do really like the Avatar show. Um, and so, with that being said, I mean, kind of wrap it up. Keep this a little bit brief. Um, if you're feeling overwhelmed with the set, it's okay to take a break. Um, don't don't put down an IP just because it's not your cup of tea. There could be a little hidden gem in there. Yeah, you might not like the IP, you might not like the artwork, you may have never even seen the show. I mean, I grew up on TMNT. Some people might not have. I'm a huge Trekkie, so I'm looking forward to. I'm already kind of hypothesizing. Like, we've seen some of the cards in TMNT, and I did a earlier podcast covering a couple of those. Star Trek, I'm hoping there's more spacecraft mechanics and station mechanics. Hoping the lander tokens come back. It would just kind of make sense, and hoping that it kind of adds some additions, some backup to EOE. I loved Edge of Eternities. I gotta say one thing for Wizards: if you're doing Star Trek, can we get a doubling cube reskinned as the Borg cube? That's all I'm asking. That being said, take care, everybody. Catch you on the next one.